I'm back again to talk about Fyre Fest 2. And there is some part of this where I think we're just arguing semantics, right? Let's get into it. So I made a video a couple of days ago about this guy, Billy McFarland, who is trying to plan Fyre Festival 2. After Fyre Festival 1 was a complete bust, he was convicted of fraud. He spent 6 years in jail because he basically took everybody's money and then just put them through this, hellscape in the Bahamas, where he promised this big fancy music festival, top acts, all premier, villas, yachts, VIP treatment the whole way. And he screwed them, and he took all their money, and the whole thing fell apart. And I think, like I said before, I think he had good intentions, and I think he wanted his imagination outweighs his capability. So he's decided he wants a second shot at it. So he's doing Fyre Fest 2. Now, I had said on my previous video that Playa del Carmen, which is a place in Mexico where he was saying it was supposed to be held, Playa del Carmen was saying, hey, listen, we know nothing about this. He had originally planned for it to be on Isla Mujeres, which is like an island off the coast, and back in early March. So there were news reports that showed March 4th and March 6th. So those are the dates that people were reporting on this, that said Isla Mujeres hadn't heard about this, and it's certainly not happening here. So he has to pivot and choose a different place. So he chooses Playa del Carmen. Okay. Now, yesterday on their Instagram, the promoters and the creators of Fyre Fest 2 just went all in on the Mexican government, saying, they fucked us, they lied to us, they backed out, we had a deal, all the contracts were signed. And if you go look at the Instagram post, there's like 6 pages of different photos of all the different contracts and stuff. So in the Instagram post, it shows all of this. So what they're trying to say, they're trying to convince the public and the people who would buy tickets to this thing, no, we did have a deal. We did have it planned. How dare the Mexican government go all over social media and say they've never heard of us, there's no deal, there's no nothing. This is where I think we're arguing semantics, but I want to call something out first. Look at the date on here. Like, I can't read Spanish, so I don't know what all this says, but the date here is March 24th. That was 15 days ago. 15 days ago, they're just now signing the contracts and the permits. The reason that's important is that anybody who's planned anything, whether you've planned a wedding, you've planned a convention, you've planned even just like a big work meeting that a lot of people are coming to, you can't do that in 8 weeks. And you sure as shit can't plan a gigantic international music festival in another country in 8 weeks. So if this thing is supposed to take place May 30th, so you can't possibly pull that together. But there's also a reason he's not talking about any of the artists. Because when we think of Fyre Festival and we hear, music festival, we think, okay, if you get some really good acts, it might be worth spending $1,000 or $1 million or whatever people are paying for this thing to go down there if you have like an amazing lineup, once in a lifetime, all these great concerts at once. It might be worth it, but he won't talk about any of the entertainment. So we're all thinking this is supposed to be a really big music festival. These are the details from their website, and it talks about, okay, you see the dates, May 30th. It says it's in Playa del Carmen. If you kind of look up here a little bit, I just want to show you this. Artist lodging. So again, music artist, right? They're staying in a luxury hotel or villa, right? And then here's the part I want to call out to you. Distinction, right? It talks about, we believe in the curation of what is presented surrounding the stage as much as what's on the stage. There's no mention here at all about you will hear the most amazing music from the most recent acts. Here's who's coming. He's talking about experiences that happen off the stage being every bit as important as the ones on the stage. So you're not paying to go to a music festival. You're paying $500,000 to go snorkel in Playa del Carmen, which you could do by yourself anytime you wanted to. Billy recently posted a video on his Instagram where he's like, this is going to be an immersive experience. Do you want to go, snorkeling with a Super Bowl champion? Do you want to go hiking with a pop star? Do you want to do, learn about anime from a UFC fighter or some bullshit like that? I don't know. And here's where I think we're arguing semantics. See, Fyre Fest has been always billed, and in our heads, we think it's a big, huge music festival. What comes along with a big, huge music festival? You need stages, you need seating, you need all of that. So when the government of Mexico is saying, we're not seeing any planning. There's no permits for stages. There's no building happening. There's no prep work happening. So we have a hard time believing this festival, music festival, is happening here. So is it correct for the government to say no event like this is being planned? Yes. But then when Billy says, oh, but I've got all these permits and I've got all these documents, and again, I can't read Spanish, someone's gonna have to go through and read it. I think he got permits to do large group activities. And now he's selling, we're gonna let you go jet skiing with some C-list person you've never heard of. Doesn't that sound fun? You don't need permits to do that part. You don't need to build stages for that part. So when the Mexican government's like, we don't think there's a big festival going on, and Billy's like, but Fyre Fest is taking place. We're talking about two different things. We're talking about a big music festival that would require a lot, months and months and months of planning and building and preparation and clearing land and space and all kinds of things that should have taken place a year ago. He's talking about just come down to Mexico and hang out with me and my friends. That's his festival. That's what he's selling you. Keep in mind that Billy McFarland, as part of his restitution for his prison sentence, he still owes the original investors and the people who sued him after Fyre Fest 1, he owes financial damages in the amount of $26 million. So the only reason he's doing this is to get himself out of debt. Now, here's what I will say about Billy McFarland. This guy can market his ass off. Imagine how successful he'd be if he just went to work in the marketing department of a Fortune 500 company, get a job as like the director or VP of marketing, toss out all these amazing, go work for a travel company, go work for some vacation like Delta Vacations or something. He's great at selling the ambiance and the attraction of it all and the sexiness and the sunshine and wiggle your toes in the sand. He's very good at that. He just can't put together an event. So he's going to take all your money again, and then now because there's an out clause, now because there's the, oh, by the way, we can cancel this whole thing every time and there is no refunds, you've given him $1 million for air, like for nothing, just to hear the sound of his voice. I'm telling you, there is no Fyre Fest. If there is a Fyre Fest, he means come vacation with Billy. Let's just do a group vacation. That's Fyre Fest. And we'll get together and we'll eat dinner one night and we'll go out on a yacht one day and that'll be Fyre Fest. He's secured no musical acts. There's a video on here, a woman named Francesca who says she's been invited to perform and she turned it down. And she has so much self-awareness. She realizes she's not a big name. And so she's like, you know, I'm down here. You only ask me to do these things when all of these people up here have turned you down. And she considers herself here. And she still said no, because when she started asking questions, they couldn't answer them. I'm telling you, this is a big fat fraud.